Well, happy holidays, all you happy campers out there. This is Hunter Pruitt, the RV Hunter, down here at McLean's RV in Sanger, Texas. And you know, the holidays are all about toys, and today we're basically in Santa's sleigh. We have a 34-foot toy hauler here. It's the 2022 Grand Design Momentum 28G, and it's actually under 35 feet, so perfect for your state national parks. It's 33 feet, 11 inches, only weighs about 8,500 pounds dry as it sits right now, but it goes up to a 12,000 pound gross weight, so really capable for all of your toys that you might be buying over the holiday season. But hey, again, you need a sleigh, something to bring them along in, and this is perfect because you have a 16.5-foot garage that is kind of combined with your living space. And that's what I love about toy haulers, is the versatility of this rear area. If you look, you have two separate sofas that both make out into an oversized bed. All that they do is lay over, just like this, real easy swivel action, and become a bed. These can then raise all the way up on an automatic bed lift system that I'll show you where the button is over there. But before I do, I'll show you the chain mechanism right here. And Grand Design has done something pretty innovative. On older models and other brands, it used to be that you have to raise this all the way up and pull out a pin to disengage this top bunk and bring it down to the resting kick plates that you see here. But on this particular one, it has these flip over levers right here. And all that you do whenever you're ready to release this top bed is flip them to where they're engaged in this channel track. And when it raises up, I'll show you on the switch over there, automatically, it disengages this resting position right here. And so you can see then the bed drops. It'll then rest on this plate and drop all the way down until it's then resting on this kick plate here. So then you have an oversized queen bed down at this level, and then you have another bed underneath it. So for those of you who are looking for the non-conventional bunk room or something to sleep more than just kiddos and even full-grown adults, this is perfect because you can comfortably sleep four just in this arrangement. Now, we do have two sofas here, both with bottom support legs, and again, I know you don't buy a camper like you buy a car by counting cup holders, but hey, it's still nice to have right there. Then on this model, you do have the two twin Euro-style chairs, and I have to be careful sitting down here because I might not get back up. But I'm actually going to pull it out from the wall a little bit because the recline that you get is pretty remarkable. You go all the way back, and then you have this little lever here, and man, you can just kick back and relax. And the nice thing about a toy hauler specifically is the ability to drop the ramp door down and make almost a patio back there. And I'll kind of show you that once we go outside. There are two carabiners that hook up, and that actually supports the weight of the ramp door itself. And then you have this little enclosure along the ramp. And Grand Design even gives you mesh screens to keep your small pets or children from escaping out the gap. And it really sets up to a nice outside space. There is an outside awning that can come out over here. And then again, you have these 3-season garage doors. And what's awesome about this is, say that you're backed up to, I don't know, last Christmas, over the holidays, we went down to Port Aransas, and the wife got really mad at me that we didn't have one of these. And we're actually looking at the 25G, the little brother to this floor plan, just because it fits in our yard. It's about 3 feet shorter, right at 31 feet. All it's missing is the couch, but we'll go into other floor plans. But what we love about toy haulers is that right now we only have a rear view of I-35. But say that you're backed up to the beach, your most scenic view, which is usually at the rear, you're able to capitalize on because you have these awesome 3-season glass enclosure screen doors. And then if you want to let the breeze in, it's a beautiful day, these glass screens can actually drop down, and then you just have the mesh to allow the nice breeze to come on through. But again, it just really opens up this space. We are only in a 34-footer, but look, we just extended the potential use by about 8 feet out the back with this patio ramp door. So if you want a 41-footer, but you only want 34 feet off the back of your bumper, that's where toy haulers really come in clutch, because look at all this extra space that you do gain, and it's outside space also, which is kind of the epitome of camping, you know, is going outside. But we'll get into some additional outside features. I do want to touch on the difference between the 28G and the 25G. And really, it's just this right here. You have this additional sofa, but it's really helpful in terms of more sleeping space. I have had people remove this, put in their own credenza, a desk if they're full timing, because again, Grand Design is the only travel trailer brand and one of only 4 fifth wheel brands that you can full time in without them voiding your warranty, because it's built, insulated, and rated for it. But you see here, it does make out into another bed. So again, just in this area, without even blowing up any air mattresses, you have the potential to sleep 6 little ones comfortably, or at least 5 adults. And again, additional cup holders too. But between that and then again the Euro style chairs that I'm going to go ahead and prop back up so it's looking nice. You do have this little table here, but there is an additional table that can make out right into those little pegs. It does store up above the bunk there, but you have 3 pedestal legs that drop right in place with a table very similar to this, to where you can also make this into a rear dining area. And that's just really neat that you have a dining area or a lounging area or a sleeping area just at the little maneuvering of the camper. But this here, they've started putting a magnet on the back, which is really neat, and then this pedestal, but everything can remove completely so that when you are ready to put Santa's toys up in here, you have a 16.5-foot garage in here. Now when the slide comes in, you're at about 72 inches wide, but that's still capable for most, you know, side-by-sides, ATVs. In the back, you have right at 96 inches overall width, and these sofa beds can actually lay flat against the wall with the simple maneuvering of a pin. And again, we can go into some of those things in more details in additional videos, but I will show you the electronic bed control right here, just so you get a feel for how easy it is. It's a little switch right inside where your monitor panel is, and it's this simple. You press bed lift up, and you can see how the bed lifts up. Bed lift down, right back down. It actually exposes several outlets back there. That's something Grand Design is known for, having over 15 outlets even in their smallest travel trailer. But again, this is a pretty hefty travel trailer at that. It's 34 feet overall length with about a 1,300 pound hitch weight. So you're going to probably want a diesel truck or at least a 3/4 ton. I've heard of half-ton trucks getting by, but an SUV, that's why we're personally going with the 25G. It's a little bit lighter weight, a little bit shorter, can fit where we want to park it. But again, here at McLean's, we have at least 3 of these Momentums on the ground, and we can kind of help custom tailor your perfect floor plan. But why we're doing a video is so you can see inside almost every cabinet. They're nice glass front cabinets, real wood construction. They actually run wood through the aluminum structure itself to make sure that these cabinets are seated in place, so they're not going anywhere. This is a pretty spacious slide. By the way, all Grand Design slides can actually support 250 pounds, which is incredible considering the fact that some travel trailers, period, you can't even walk on the roof. But on this kitchen slide, something new that Grand Design's been doing over this last year is doing 12-volt fridges instead of the propane electric. What's neat about that is you can actually fit a full-size jug of milk in here. You don't have the propane components at the back that are obstructing your space and that need to then defrost, and then you got all the condensation on the inside. And they did see an increase of the freezer capacity as well. With this, with Grand Design still wanting to appeal to boondockers, whenever it has a 12-volt fridge, it's also going to have a solar panel on the roof already equipped, and that's pretty remarkable. Now, you do have a 10-inch subwoofer here. It's the Rockford Fosgate sound system for inside and outside speakers, because a lot of your toy people, you're going to want your speakers an additional toy. You want to be playing music out there. But again, this is a great entertaining space in that you have your 3-burner cast iron cooktop with the backsplash already built into the wall, but it does flip up to protect from additional grease spillover. Decent oven as well. The microwave. But where you see a lot of campers wasting space, Grand Design does a remarkable job of utilizing every square inch. This just isn't a fuse panel underneath, it's actually a pot and pans drawer. You have great storage underneath the sink. Actually a place to put a trash can, what a concept. And then we got drawers all the way down too. Newer, nice hardware. This is a dish drying rack, by the way, so when you're done washing dishes, you can stack them all up and have them all rinse off. And it just rolls up and out of the way, but gives you additional prep space when you need it. Overside cabinets up overhead as well. And then just a small compartment there for knickknacks and things you're going to need related to the TV, which, by the way, is a Roku Smart TV. Because on these they are including the wine guard, and that wine guard can then be upgraded to have not only what it comes with, a Wi-Fi booster, but you can actually put a 4G SIM card into it if you get the gateway added, and that'll actually create a 4G hotspot for your entire camper so that you can stay connected, and that'll actually pick up cell signal to 50 to 70 miles away, where your cell phone will only pick up 2 to 5 miles away. This is the control here for the Rockford Fosgate sound system, Bluetooth control and everything that you'd expect on a camper in 2022. And then your generator control is also right here we do tests on it. And there was a generator shortage at one time, but Grand Design's been really consistent on making sure our units, toy haulers, are usually sought after with the generator. And that's the other thing that's really nice about them, is this is a fully self-contained unit. You have 100 gallons of fresh water, 79, almost 80 gray, and 39, almost 40 black. That's going to take you a long time to fill up, and you can go detach and get away for a good period of time, especially since you have a 30-gallon auxiliary fuel tank on the back that you can either utilize for Santa's toys or use to fuel the generator. And at that, you're going to be able to sustain for at least 2 or 3 days just on the fuel in the tank. Before we leave this area here, I do want to point out the Max Air fan up top, because a lot are just putting in little piddly side fans, and this one actually will move air through the space and allow for really good ventilation. You then have the new RV airflow system inside this AC, which is basically a big block of styrofoam that takes the entirety of your air intake and pushes it all into Grand Design's patented their patented racetrack AC system that's circled like a figure 8. It does get over 30% more airflow through that. And this is one of the only campers on the market that actually has 2 ACs on 30 amp service because of its power control and management system. When I accidentally tongue slipped and mentioned the even flow heat system, that's actually what's right here with your heat ducts. There is no floor vents entirely through this camper. All the heat ducts are side mounted into the cabinetry, so they're not obtrusive in the floor where stuff can fall down in there. It also does a better job of dispersing the heat, so as we're going into the cold months, again, this camper is R40 insulated, better than some people's houses. R9 in the walls, and so between that level of insulation and then having a better heater, back in our February freeze, there's a lot of people who are very grateful for their campers because they're able to stay warm, keep lights on, and with solar, the generator, this is ready for no matter what winter throws at you. But we should go on up to the bedroom and bathroom, because that's one of my other favorite things about both the 25G and the 28G, because from the bathroom and bedroom forward, they are identical. And having a bed slide period is something that's very sought after in campers. This is a residential queen. Now, I will say that in other Momentum travel trailers, something that people want the bed slide so that they can move around it, but very few concepts can accomplish that with also adding a wardrobe and other space in here. The other Momentums have this bathroom that we're about to go into over here in the corner. So you do have to flip up this mattress in order to bring the slide in, which does limit you in terms of what kinds of mattresses you can put here to make yourself comfortable when sleeping at night. But what I love about this floor plan here is having this wardrobe here gives you 3 things actually. More space for clothes and foldable, additional prep space up top. But behind here is your outside kitchen, which we'll get to. But also having the wardrobe here means that whenever this slide comes in, you have plenty of space to actually put a residential standard queen in, and then the bed just kind of picks up and slides up on top of this wardrobe. So this floor plan specifically, the reason why I like it is because you can swap whatever mattress you'd like and put it in this one. And that's kind of limited in some other toy hauler floor plans. But as we kind of move around into what's in the rest of the bedroom, you kind of have a rear wardrobe as well for more foldable space. Your fuse panel's right here, convenient location with additional breakers, actually hidden because again they want it to feel residential like a home. Small cavities up front here. A full backlit mirror with an LED light strip around it and plenty of outlets as well. And that kind of brings me to your side tables and additional overhead cabinet storage above the bed. And then you get 3 windows all the way around, which is really going to allow for good air circulation. First thing in the morning, you can be woken up by the breeze, especially if you're down at Port Aransas or anywhere on the coast. This is quite the way to wake up with the windows all around you. Because then you also have a window on this side, and not even point out the overhead cabinets that you get here. And good hanging space right there. Here's the legs to make the rear dining table. A good place for them to store. And then I'll show you all these overhead cabinets as well. And they were really smart with their intentional switch to a more charcoal gray look just in the bedroom, because with the lighter colors it does make a little bit smaller space feel much more open. But you also have these sliding pocket doors, which by the way are magnetic, do a really good job of holding. That brings us to the other pocket door here in the bathroom. And that's the other thing that I really love about toy haulers is, look here, I'm 6 foot even, and I mean, to not even be able to almost touch the ceiling while standing inside the shower, something that's really hard to accomplish on even fifth wheels, because fifth wheels, usually your bathroom's up in the front nose compartment, so headspace can be a challenge. So for those of you who've walked into so many campers and you just feel a little bit crunched up in the shower, the Momentum in this toy hauler might be a good option for you. But going into some of the other neat accoutrements inside this bathroom, you have a neat medicine cabinet that's kind of built on the back side of that TV. That's Grand Design coming in and utilizing literally every square millimeter of this camper. And then you do have a porcelain toilet here, no plastic on Grand Design's. Pretty deep sink, definitely plenty for you to wash and shave in. And then good under sink storage as well. With another Max Air fan is also up top. Now, you do get a second AC up in the bedroom, and with this being a 34-foot unit, that is going to be crucial, even with how well the insulation is and keeping this camper cool. But the neat thing about both being able to run on your 30-amp service is that when y'all are going to state national parks and going to some of those more rural areas that don't have the 50-amp hookups, you're still going to be able to run 2 ACs, and that's crucial, really it is. But I want to go back up to the front here before we go outside, so you can get one last scan of the main living area and talk about something else that's crucial to this camper, and that's its subfloor. Because there's one giant sheet of marine grade decking running from back to front, and that actually has a 25-year warranty on it. The reason why the warranty is almost as long as my lifespan is the fact that with it being marine grade decking, there's no chances of it slipping over seams, and being marine grade, it's not going to wick water whatsoever. And so they have the confidence to protect this subfloor for 25 years, and it's sitting on the thickest frame in the business. But you don't really have to worry about it even wicking water because of the laminate that they put on top. And also, it's nearly impossible for water to run in behind these sidewalls because of how they frame up these windows. These windows are one of the only in the industry that actually have aluminum framing around it. To explain to somebody who hasn't had a camper before, you can usually go out on a lot and tell whenever a camper just rough cuts the fiberglass, pops the window in, and the only thing holding in place are these little screws, because then there's butyl putty along the outside wall, and that oozes in the heat and then cracks in the cold. What's different about how Grand Design puts in every window, door, and baggage door, for that matter, is that they frame it with aluminum framing, then they use Mylar tape, which has also got a 25-year life expectancy. They use PVC foam tape, then die-cut PVC fit to the mold, and then silicone around the outer edge. And that makes it to where it's virtually impossible for water to get in behind these crucial cut points in the fiberglass. And that's why it's actually rated for up to negative 60 degrees, up to 218 degrees, I believe. So you're not having to do that constant every year maintenance. Still suggest it, but the way that Grand Design seals their windows means that virtually no water is getting in behind the fiberglass, and you don't even have to worry about water getting in through the fiberglass because of Grand Design's pinch roll lamination process as well. But that kind of takes us through the majority of the build quality on the inside, and hopefully you can see it for yourself. I know a video doesn't quite do justice. That's why we of course encourage everybody to come out and see us in person. But I do want to kind of focus on a few of the outside things too. So let's go on outside and see some of those goodies. So now that we're outside the Momentum 28G, there's several things that we want to talk about in terms of the molded fiberglass front cap, the neat LED strips that they run through it. It does of course have an electric tongue jack, and it's necessary on this rig because again you have a 1,300-pound hitch weight. Just be mindful of that and make sure that you consult our parts department so they can get you a weight distribution hitch. But 20-pound propane tanks, battery cutoff switch with battery included here at McLean's. Here you have outside plugs, and this is substantial storage here. It runs all the way up if you get a view. With motion sense light, that's also where you store your tire pressure monitor system that can pair with your phone to ensure that your tires are staying good pressure, but we'll get to that because you really shouldn't have a fear with this rig. But this is why the 25G and the 28G are my favorite, because finding a toy hauler that has an outside kitchen is really hard because usually there's not this cavity to intrude into the rig. But on this one, they did it on the other side of the wardrobe, which is just brilliant because you still have your 2-burner cooktop. You have the nice, again, RV Hunter trademarked phrase, Dr. Pepper beer fridge in Texas. And then you do have additional plug-ins back there. But this is fantastic, and it stores away really easy. These 2 flaps just fold right up. You fasten it down just like this. And then store the propane line and everything back up inside. By the way, there is also cable hookups there, but it's hydraulic assisted, just like the rear patio door, which we'll get to. Now, some people have commented on the fact that this rig has manual leveling jacks, And I actually encourage that, because this camper being so heavy, the electronic stabilizers just aren't going to get the job done. It's really just going to stabilize the camper. These jacks being rated for over 5,000 pounds and being mounted to the frame, once you get blocks up underneath it, you are going to be able to support a little bit more weight, and just get a 3/4 inch impact drill. You're going to be able to get these jacks down quicker than you would the electric jacks anyways. It's just my personal suggestion. But you look here and you have this massive awning. It's got black fabric on both sides, so if you get any leaves rolled up in there, it's not going to get just musty or mildewy over time. The LED light strip's actually on the interior, so you can still utilize it even on windy days when you're not able to put the awning out. And then you can adjust this awning, the pitch of it, in rainy conditions to where all of the moisture runs off one side, and it's not just accumulating on the fabric and putting too much weight on the awning motors themselves, or the awning arms themselves, excuse me. But these are aluminum steps here. They fold up and down super easy. The reason why they don't have solid steps is because they'd really be intrusive into the garage space if they had to fold up inside the door. It's something we can add if you really don't have a toy that's going to be way up in this front cavity. But remember, the Euro style chairs have to store up here also, so I would encourage just going with the aluminum steps, because also you pull over along the side of the road to use the restroom, look, right inside. So you don't have to even use the rest stop during the COVID stages. Nice oversized grab handle that also secures the door there. But when I talked about you having the tire pressure monitor system but not necessarily needing it, the reason why I said that is because you have Goodyear endurance tires, American rubber, not the China bombs that so many other brands are still relying on. These actually have a 5-year warranty on the axles, wheels, and tires. A year of the tire warranties, no questions asked. You can pick up a nail on all 4 tires and still keep on moving. While we're here, I want to point out the decals. Now, I had a customer, a repeat customer that I've worked with for a while. I want to debut theirs. This is the brand new decal package coming on the Momentums, but either way, it is a very sharp looking rig. You got the black on white. They just changed things up a little bit, but regardless of whether or not you go with the new year model change or this original one, these decals have a 5-year warranty on them from peeling or fading. They want to keep it looking nice, and so if you ever have any issues with that, they will go ahead and replace them. To cap off the warranties, I already mentioned the 25-year subfloor warranty, but you also have a 3-year structural, a 1-year hitch to bumper limited warranty, and then an 18-year roof warranty as well. And that's pretty all-encompassing. But I'll go ahead and move back to the rear of the camper so that you can see this patio from the backside. And you see this rail system right here. It's a great enclosure for dogs, small kids. And it folds up real easy on either side. Now, if you're going to utilize this as a ramp for your toys, you remove this carabiner right here. This ramp can actually support 1,500 pounds. And while Grand Design is now doing a new weather coating on it, I don't suggest you leave it out in the rain, but it is weather resistant. But these carabiners can release completely, and then the whole ramp drops to the ground. But I'm going to show you what it looks like all stored up and how easy it is to actually put the ramp door up. But the gas assisted means I can do it with one hand, hold it no problem. You just got to make sure that the cables feed on inside, but it's not difficult to do when you have that gas helping you. And just like that, I then go ahead and pop this lower support arm right in place on both sides. And she's all buttoned up, ready to hit the road, hopefully with all of Santa's toys inside. But in mentioning toys, here's your auxiliary fuel station with the pump and everything right here, so you can fuel up your side-by-sides and ATVs. It does lock, so you don't have to worry about anybody siphoning off your gas. And then these 2 pins release this ladder to pull out a little ways so you can climb up on the roof, maintain your slides, make sure that there's nothing up there. But these are Schwintek slides, very reliable. You just see your main dump station out here. It is a one central dump location, so you don't have to get any Y connectors or anything like that with your septic hoses. a 6-gallon quick recovery water heater. It's actually recovering its heat every 20 minutes at 17.8 gallons per hour, both gas and electric. This is just your furnace exhaust here, a place to hook up, again, a 30 amp power cord, again, very crucial to the Momentums, their power management system. And the last portion that is very crucial on the Momentum, specifically on Grand Design, is this enclosed pump station. When you see other camper brands that only claim to be 3 seasons rated, the reason being is that their hose connections are on the outside wall. Not only is that a place where your hoses can freeze on the outside, but it's also additional incisions into the fiberglass that if they're not sealing it properly, water can get in behind. But your hoses run up underneath the J-wrap, connect right here, and whether or not you're going to be dry camping, running just off of pressurized water, all you have to do is match up the diagram. And it's super easy, convenient. Also, your outside shower is here. Something I've actually had customers do is clothespin a shower curtain to both slides, and then they have actually a private outside shower, and that's pretty incredible. Additional plugs there. This is magnetic, so it stays open. And here's your 4,000 watt generator as well. Cummins owning, tried and true, and it's going to run off your 30-gallon auxiliary fuel tank. And that's all enclosed, heat shield everything, with the exhaust down below. Now, while we're under the slide, something else I don't really get the chance to talk about very often is the subfloor of the slide itself. Start looking at other brands and doing a few different tests for yourself, in that you'll usually see a plastic sheet here with 2 little plastic rollers on either side. And if that's your slide mechanism, over time, the plastic is going to get caught up on those rollers, start sagging. It's just not solid. It's not very well insulated, and this is where you're sleeping, remember? And so this being actually like Rhino line, it's a superior decking, and you have the Schwintek slide that's going to be very level going in and out. And then do a thump test on any brand you're comparing, and it's really incredible how the Grand Design compares side by side when you start banging on the sides. It's that R9 insulation that you're going to find on the Momentums. Well, let's go ahead and go back to the front so you can get an overview. We'll look at the actual weight specs on this particular unit. I shot from the hip and said that the dry weight's about 8,500 pounds, but this one actually coming spec'd with the generator, the 3-season garage doors, you add about 700 pounds. So please be mindful when you're shopping online. Make sure that you get with a reputable sales consultant that can help custom tailor the right trailer for your vehicle. And this one's actually touting a 13,000 pound gross weight, when online it's only touting a 12,000. And so again, weights change, but you want to make sure that you consult with somebody on a rig this size. Make sure that you're going to be safe when towing it, especially if the purpose is to use the versatility of the rear bunk and garage area for the kids. If you're bringing kids along with the toys, got to make sure you're safe, but that's what we're here for. Again, my name is Hunter Pruitt. We go by the RV Hunter, and we're down here at the McLean's RV location in Sanger. We have 5 locations: Denton, Sanger, Rockwall, Fort Worth, and Oklahoma City. And any of our agents would be happy to help custom tailor the right floor plan, whether or not it is a toy hauler or a bunk floor plan similar to this Reflection 312 BHTS by Grand Design. We also have several Connects, Sportsmen's discounted deeply on 2021s, and we always have used inventory as well. And so any way that we can help you, we'd love to be your trusted family-owned RV dealership. But again, Hunter Pruitt here signing off from the 2022 Grand Design Momentum walkthrough. Thank y'all so much for watching. Have a happy holiday.